Hey, it's Amanda, and I'm going to show you one of my favorite one-pot meals. It's healthy and delicious. A kale tomato stew. It's easy AF. This recipe is one of my favorites because you basically can have chickpeas and stewed tomatoes in your pantry at all times, onions and garlic, which I always have in the house, and all you have to do is buy fresh kale, or you could substitute Swiss chard or spinach, your favorite greens. That's why I love it. You can make it anytime. It's economical, it's healthy, and you put whatever you want on top. Put an egg on it, put a piece of chicken, a pork chop, some tofu, whatever. So we're going to start with my favorite, olive oil, and we're going to saute some onions. We're going to sweat them, actually. They're going to get sweaty in here, just so they get a little bit soft, but no color. And they're going to give off some of their natural liquid. Then we're going to add garlic. Now, the recipe calls for about 3 cloves, but a little extra. It's that time of year, a little garlic to kick it up is not a bad idea. And then what I love in this recipe, and it's optional, is some red chili flakes. It gives it a little bit of a kick, a little heat. Whenever you add tomatoes, I like to add a little bit of spice just to bring up the flavor. Tomatoes can really take it. They are juicy and they add a lot of moisture and water, so that needs more flavor. So to see how that was loud and now it quieted down, it's because the onions and the garlic are cooking together. And that's really it. Everything else goes in after that. So what I do is I keep cooking that onion and garlic a little bit, and then I put my kale in. Now this seems like a ton of kale. This is really one large bunch of kale, but what happens is it cooks down. So I'm gonna put it in. Don't be afraid to get your hands in that pot. I broke it up just a little bit. I didn't even cut it. I just broke it up with my hands, and it's going in the pot and it's going to cook down. If you're using spinach, you're going to have to use twice as much because, as you know, spinach cooks down super quick. Okay, I'm going to put one more little handful, and then we're going to let that cook a little bit, and then I'm adding chickpeas, stewed tomatoes, and I'm using nature's stock. This is water. Of course, you can use vegetable stock or chicken stock if you like. This has a lot of flavor in it already from kale and tomatoes and chickpeas. I use water. It's always handy and it's free. So I'm going to season my kale because that was a lot of kale that went in there. And I'm just going to season it so that it keeps layering flavor. Whenever you're cooking a stew or a soup, you have to layer the flavors the whole time. Now I'm going to put in my tomatoes. These are canned. So have these on hand in your pantry whenever you want to make something like this. Just open up the can. These are stewed, so they're cooked a little bit already. So you actually don't need that much cooking time after these go in. And then the chickpeas, of course, which are so delicious. I love chickpeas. They have a great bite. They have lots of flavor. Obviously, you're used to having them in hummus, but use them as a whole bean. They're great. So now everything's in. Onions, garlic, chilies, kale, tomato, chickpea. I'm putting in, like I said, nature's stock. This just helps it stew. The tomatoes are going to break down. The kale's going to break down. It's going to cook for about 20 minutes. I like to put a lid on top. And this recipe is one of my favorites that it's in my cookbook, The Chef Next Door. And it's in What's for Dinner because this can be the base of any weeknight dinner and it's super quick. Woohoo! There it is. Look at that. It's cooked for about 20 minutes. It's all come together. The kale broke down, the tomatoes, the chickpeas. It all gave out its flavor and juices, and it's ready to go. You can eat it as is. You can make a complete meal by putting a protein on top, fry an egg, put some chicken, tofu, whatever you like, or just eat it like this because it's easy AF. Oh my God, that's so good.